I would like to welcome everybody to this demonstration. NAZIYAH Harris, whose timeline is correct. Salute to the chat. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the replay gang. Replay gang, y'all know what to do. Weigh in on this demonstration. Whose timeline is correct? Now, we're just going to jump straight into this demonstration. So we have Jarvis's sister timeline and events. We also have King's son auntie. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names because y'all all know how I do. I will mess up on some names. So I ain't even going to entertain that. This will be an open panel demonstration. I will be dropping the link in a few minutes. Anyone that would like to join me on the panel and dig into the timelines. Now, according to King's son, auntie, she said that they were there in Ypsilanti, 4:30, no later than 5:30. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Now, according to King said that they left to go to Ypsilanti around 7:30. So either King's timeline is incorrect, or either the son's auntie timeline is correct. When we listen to Jarvis's sister, she says that she was at the shop while Jarvis and King was still at the shop. She says that she was at that shop, I believe, between 4 and 5:30. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong. So I've done a demonstration, and this is what led me to actually do this demonstration. And I'm going to go to the replay gang on this demonstration. Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second, everybody. And while I find what I'm looking for on a previous demonstration, I got a quick announcement to make. The switching lanes on Yo Funky Ass merch is available. We have them in red with black letters. We have them in black with gold letters. We have them in pink with black letters. We have them in black and pink letters. DM me on Instagram if you are interested in purchasing a switching lanes on Yo Funky Ass merch. All proceeds go to my up and coming movie Switching Lanes on Yo Funky Ass. I am an independent filmmaker, so all of the funds that I receive to produce and direct my films, I have to come out of pocket. So if you would like to donate to a good cause, please purchase a Switching Lanes on Yo Funky Ass shirt. If you like making fun of Shank Rock, if you enjoy and laughing at my Baltimore accent, then you definitely want to help support the movie, because when I tell y'all are going to be laughing, y'all are going to be laughing. Now let me get to this timeline Appreciate that super sticker, Charlotte. Appreciate that super sticker. And we do have 15 super sticker super chat goal to reach on this demonstration. If you would like to help us meet our 15 super sticker or super chat goal, just click on the $ symbol and purchase a super sticker, a super chat. The benefits of purchasing a super chat: if you have a question for me to answer, if you have a comment for me to read, because unfortunately I can't get to everybody's comments, I can't get to everybody's question. But one way that will guarantee you that I read your comment, one way that will guarantee that I answer your question, is if you purchase a super chat. I answer all super stickers and super chats. Appreciate the super sticker, Miss Low Key. All right. So somebody gave an interesting breakdown on the timeline. Let me drop my link. Once again, this is an open panel discussion. Anyone that would like to join me on the panel, please click on the blue StreamYard link. All right, so shout out to Big Mama. Shout out to Big Mama on the replay game. Big Mama says this. Big Mama says, this is really crazy now. Timestamp has Tawana at the shop until around 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. or so. It would be dark at 5:30 p.m. in the winter. King's son, aunt, said they got to Ypsilanti before his son got home from school, and it was daylight when they left. The timeline places Jarvis going to Ypsilanti after 6:30 p.m. because I believe the phone was pinged. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe when they pinged Jarvis's phone, it showed that he was in Ypsilanti after 6 p.m. So let's focus on these timestamps that I'm giving to y'all. Whose timestamp is correct? It says, King says they left the shop at 7:30 p.m. to go to Ypsilanti, and the aunt went to the bank to get the extra money for payment. She said she cash apps him. What the F is really going on? She said they left in the daylight, when it was daylight outside. So we could just start with King's son, auntie, because to me, her timestamp to me is way off. But I'm going to welcome my special guest to the panel, Mel, and let Mel weigh in on the timestamps. Salute, Mel.
Salute, Jake. Yeah, again, as I listened to the preliminaries and the different testimonies between Jarvis, not Jarvis, what's his name? King, right, Talisha, and Jarvis' sister. They were just really far off. And like I said, I've been to Philadelphia in October. That's fall. And being from Florida, that place was almost depressing to me because it got dark so early, like 4:30, it was dark. So it would be right to say in Detroit, Michigan, because that's still in the really going toward the Northeast, that 4:30 would be rightfully dark in Michigan. Now, if you go back to King's sister's testimony, she said she arrived at the shop around 4 o'clock, give or take a few minutes, as she stated. But then when she said she got out and walked across the street to follow NAZIYAH into the gas station, she said it was dark. And so if it was about 4:30, then that would have been about right. But now if you think that it was a rainy day because King alluded to it was raining, so that means with the overcast, then it may have gotten darker a little bit sooner, maybe like 15 minutes. It would have been looking a little dark. So for then Talasia to say it was daylight when they came and it was daylight when they left, that was kind of weird. And then she also said that they were there around 3 o'clock. See, that's in her conversation too. So I say this for the chat, the very, very smart people, to think about January 9th being a very eventful day. January 9th was on a Tuesday. So what happened to January 8th? Because everything seemed to happen on January 9th. NAZIYAH was on the floor at school. The nurse and the counselor, whoever, didn't come to see about her. She was seen getting off the bus, wearing closer to what Annette said she had on when she got off the bus. She hadn't said she'd get home at 3, so then the bus would have got to where she lives around 3 or 2:55 if it took her 5 minutes to walk home. But how could she be in Ypsilanti at 3, but also just getting off the school bus? And then with this thing, the Jaguar is being repaired on the 9th, even though it got to the shop on the 5th. Now, we do know with foreign parts, the places have to order parts. I get that. So we're going to give them a little grace there. But still, it's the 9th. So they're on their way they go to the auto parts. They pick up the stuff. They leave, forget they need a tool, go back to the auto parts store. Then Jarvis then notices NAZIYAH. So what time did you see NAZIYAH? Was it 3:40, 3:45? Like, how far was the shop from where she lived for her to get off the bus, didn't go home, but then began to walk, and they just happened to see her? So the 9th was just very eventful. Jarvis' sister, who, that's my brother, but we ain't all that cool. She just happened to call Jarvis on the 9th, FaceTime, because it's not traceable, by FaceTime, and ask, hey, can you look at my car? Not can you fix the car, can you look at it? Because I don't know. It just don't feel right, and I just want to know if it's still safe to drive. So this is January 9th is so full of events that we missed January 8th, which would have been Monday. That was the first day back to school after the winter break. So on the 9th, the 9th was just full of events. It also seemed to be full of the first time Shannon noticed text messages between Jarvis and NAZIYAH, and almost, I guess, the first time that they got women for being pregnant. Well, she's been home for 3 weeks on winter break. You didn't see her?
Mel,
she was home. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to focus on the phone ping. Can I get everybody to welcome Michelle? Michelle is a newbie. Appreciate you for pulling up with us, Michelle. Can I get everybody to give Michelle and all other newbies a warm welcome? Let's focus on Kenyatta.
Okay, I don't know about the phone. I don't know. I'm just saying, Shank, I don't know about the phone pings.
So the phone ping with Jarvis, it did ping at 6:30 with him being in Ypsilanti. So at least now, do we want to say that that phone ping is accurate? Appreciate your super sticker, Tracy. Can we, what do y'all think? I'm going to leave it up to you all, the replay gang as well as the chat. Is Jarvis's phone being pinged in Ypsilanti at 7:30, at 6:30, is that solid enough for us? We got another newbie, Daily D. Can I get everybody to give Daily D a warm welcome? And also, can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands for my moderator, God's Child Blessings, whom we know as Yvette C. I hope everything is okay with you and family, God's Child Blessing. Can I get some prayer hands for my moderator, God's Child Blessings? And can I get everybody to welcome the newbies? This phone being pinged at 6:30, right? So once again, King, let me just give y'all my input on King, as well as Jarvis's sister, and also King's son, aunt. I always felt King's timeline of them leaving for Ypsilanti at 7:30, I always felt as though he was lying, and I'll tell y'all why. Appreciate your super chat, Tanya J. Appreciate that super chat. Because if King curfew, I believe, was 9 o'clock, in my opinion, that's pushing it. That's pushing it. And I believe you all said that Ypsilanti was 30 to 45 minutes away from Detroit. Now, everybody is not careful, whereas though some people say, you know what, F it. But most people, when they're on a home monitor device, most people ain't gonna chance it. So that 7:30 for me from King, I always felt King was lying. Now, was he lying on purpose? Tanika says, I remember Miss Parker saying King was late getting back that day. And then even when they got back from Ypsilanti, King said that, they counted up the money and, clocked the receipts and so forth. It was a lot going on. And I do agree with Mel. It was a lot going on the 9th. I mean, it was just a lot going on. Now, the timestamps, that's what we're here for, these timestamps. Jarvis's sister says that it was still light outside, right? Drop a one. And then Mel, I'm gonna let you come in. Drop a 1 if you believe Jarvis's sister timestamp was correct as far as her being at the shop 3:30 to 5:30. Give or take a little later, give or take a little early. What are y'all thoughts on Jarvis's sister's timestamp? Appreciate your super chat, Michelle. Michelle says, thanks you everybody for the warm welcome. Shank and Miss Parker are the best. I appreciate you, Michelle. Shout out to Miss Parker and her riders. Not many people are feeling Jarvis's sister's timestamp. I see only one, and that's coming from Shayna Ray. Only one person. Okay. Shout out to Shayna Ray. I see you, Shayna Ray. Come on in, Mel. Slide back in, Mel.
So I think this may be able to provide some clarity. When I think about the timeline and also think about not only watching his sister's testimony twice, but just listening to it without the visual, so I can hear where things begin to change. And I do know, and I respect the fact that a lot of people feel that she showed a lot of emotions, but she did. But her emotions were not for NAZIYAH. Her emotions were not emotions was not because she knew who her brother was. You have to watch her testify to see when her emotions changed. And her emotions changed when she began to struggle with the questions that were being asked of her, not only by the prosecution, but by the defense, because she had already interviewed with the detectives. So she had a set of questions that the prosecution was asking her, and then she moved into asking her questions based off what she told the detectives, which wasn't matching up, and she became stuck. So she struggled, and then she began to cry. But the reason why I say that is because I don't think his sister was ever at that shop. I think his sister, I don't know if she had prior knowledge. Maybe her and Jarvis had a prior conversation prior to her going to the detective. Maybe it came out before she knew. And when she heard, she watched the podcast. She asked Jarvis about it, but I don't think that she was ever at that shop. I think she was between her and King's nephew, auntie. They were trying to solidify that they saw NAZIYAH that day, but I don't think they saw NAZIYAH that day.
Stay right there, Mel. Drop a 2. Drop a 2 in the chat. If you think like Mel, and if you think that King's sister, not King's sister, Jarvis's sister is lying about being up at that shop. Could it be that Jarvis' sister was not up at that shop on that day? Can I get everybody to send some congratulations to Jacqueline? Jacqueline says she has a brand new great granddaughter named Sage. Can I get everybody to wish Jacqueline congratulations on her brand new granddaughter named Sage? All right, I'm coming, y'all. Bear with me. The chat moving fast. I'm gonna focus on these super chats for right now because the chat moving fast. I see you, Alma. Let me grab Alma's real quick. Alma said it looked as if Jarvis' sister mouthed to him, "I'm sorry," from the stand. All right. I got you. Appreciate this super chat, Nia. Nia says, "What's good, rock and rollers and riders?" Yeah, soon as he left the shop, he went house on Wilshire, Angel, then Parkrest, then ended up at 28 Piece House, Letitia. They are accessories, and there was violence. This case, appreciate that, Nia Barnes. This case is stranger than what we think it is. It's bigger than our imaginations. Come on back in, Mel. I'm trying to keep up with what's going on in the chat. Come on in, Mel. Okay, let me grab this. Okay. Go ahead, Mel. Come on, Mel. Come on.
Right. So that's my take on it when I listened to the testimony of both of those ladies and then listened to King's testimony. And I kept thinking, like, God, they had a lot of stuff going on the night and all these different times. So even not even to put in a time, one thing's for certain, in the Northeast, in the wintertime, it's dark by 4:30, no later than 5. Because I live in the South and we dark by 5:30, you know? But I've been to Philadelphia in October and it was dark at 4:30. It was crazy to me. But I don't think that either one of them, you even have to go back to King's sister testimony. Out of all of the things that she said, she saw NAZIYAH keep getting out of the car. But the one thing she didn't say was she saw Jarvis and King come out and push that car to the gas pump because it ran out of gas. She didn't see that.
Let me grab this from somebody that used to live in. Appreciate your super chat, Drea. Drea says, Shank Rock, salute, rise. Let me grab Carolyn's. Carolyn says, salute everyone. Lived in Michigan for 47 years. And if it was never dark at 4:30 p.m., dusty around 5:30, and dark at 6 p.m. I'm gonna let you come back in, Mel. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying. Okay. Tasia Warner was not lying about being at the shop. Her phone records prove she was there 3:45 to 5:16. I'm struggling with these timestamps, and this is why I'm asking her. When they was grilling Letitia, the black male judge asked her if she was sure she wasn't with Jarvis at 2 a.m. She got mad. I can't remember the timestamp, but she was lying too. Stephanie says, yes, but Detroit is the Midwest, Mel. Gigi says, facts. I'm up north and it's dark started at 4:30, 4:45. Tone says, in winter, I can't pronounce that, Tone, but y'all see it. It doesn't get dark in Detroit until 5:30-ish. All right. Rashida, every time my granddaughter sends me a pic of, you can see her cheeks getting a little chubby. She's growing beautiful. I'm glad to hear that, Jacqueline. I'm going to let you come in, Mel. Give me 1 second. I'm going to let you come in. I am happy that you are keeping this conversation alive because the mainstream media does not care about missing or unalived black girls. And I appreciate you, Shana. That's why. That's another reason why we have to keep this story and all other stories of these black little girls that are going missing and that are going unalived, because mainstream media is not going to do it. And I know plenty of people be saying, why are they always talking about NAZIYAH? Why they keep talking about NAZIYAH? It's other cases out here that they can talk about, and that's true. And the content creators, we do switch lanes from time to time and talk about these other cases. We do. But when you get locked in on a particular case, it's hard for you not to talk about it. I believe over here in the Rock Squad, how long was we on the Shanquella Robinson case, Mel? I know it was at least a year straight. That's all we was talking about was Shanquella Robinson.
Oh, Shanquella supposed to went into 2 years. Woo.
Right. We almost went into 2 years. But what I want to say, I want to encourage everybody in the chat and everybody on the replay gang. I want to encourage you all to be content creators. And it's multiple ways. It's called all kind of ways that you can be a content creator. You don't even have to show your face. You don't even have to go live like I'm going live. You could just upload a video. You can do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You could go on your Facebook page and talk about it. You could go on Instagram. You could use your social media platforms to talk about it, because it's more of these cases than it is content creators. So we're always in need of more content creators. And I believe that right now you got 252 people that's watching this demonstration. Just imagine if all 252 people were content creators helping, pushing in the algorithm these stories. Like I get, and I want to thank everyone that do send me the stories, but I get so many stories. I mean, and I get a lot of stories from one subscriber. One subscriber might send me 10 different stories. And so I got all these stories piling up on me in my DMs and in my email. And it's like, I'm like, damn, it's no way in the world that I can cover all these stories, because then you got to keep in mind, I still have my personal life. You know, I do have my personal life. So once again, I want to encourage you all on becoming content creators and help us because mainstream media definitely don't cover these missing black kids and unalive black kids. It's even to the point they don't even cover a lot of the Caucasian missing kids and unalive kids. And I know a lot of you feel that if these kids were white, if they were Caucasian, then they would get the publicity that, you know, they need. A lot of them don't get it either. And then a lot of those cases, the parents, the family members of the Caucasian kids and other nationality of kids, they got to fight like hell, just like we fighting like hell. So once again, I just want to encourage everyone on becoming a content creator and help with spreading these stories. Come on back in, Mel. Appreciate that super sticker, John Tay. Come on, Mel.
I'm right here, Shane. But that's what I'm saying. See, it had a different timelines. Jarvis' sister said it was dark at 4:30. Tanisha said it was light when they came. It was light when they left. King say they didn't leave the shop till 7:30, which would have made it all the way dark. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So give me 1 second.
Now, while we wait for Mel, I'm going to ask the chat as well as the replay game. Just like Jarvis's stable of women were protecting him and covering for him, could everybody else, and that was protected and covering him, could all of them, could they all been trying to cover for Jarvis? Could they been trying to get themselves out of the spider web? Because, and I know some of y'all might get upset, but Jarvis' sister, she rubs me the wrong way. Appreciate you, Daily D. Daily D says content creators can and should cover cases, however long they choose to cover them. Y'all do your thing. Kudos. I'll be doing content as well. I appreciate that, Daily D. And if you need my help, with you know, and your content, pull up, let me know. I used to do subscribers night on Mondays, whereas though I would let the subscribers, you know, do their demonstrations over here to get started. Because I know, you know, becoming a content creator, it could be frustrated, because if you got this content and you only getting 10 views on it, 2 and 3 likes and stuff like that, and people is not watching your content, it can be, you know, whatever word I'm looking for, y'all know, help me out with that word that I'm looking for. But if you on a platform and you getting your content on a platform where it's traction going at, you know, then it might, you know, be a little better. So I just want to say, any content creators that need my help, pull up. I'll lend any assistance that I can. I want to grab this comment, y'all, that I seen. Christy says, I think that King and Jarvis' sister have something going on, and she's mad he pulled King into it, and that's the reason for her line. Strong possibility, Christy. Come on in when you want to, Mel.
Oh no, I actually just did a Google search, and sunset in Detroit is usually around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Now, in the month of January, toward the 1st of January, it's around 5 o'clock, and around 5:30 toward the end of the month. Okay. But I think, again, being a rainy day, you know, that time could have varied a little bit, maybe 4:40. But I mean, with all the different phone pings and different information that they have, I remember a lot of phone pings they had in the YSL trial that wasn't correct. But I'm gonna digress on that. To me, for some reason, I just don't think Tijuana, I guess that's her name, or Talasia Moore saw NAZIYAH Harris on January 9th. I just don't think they saw her. I just don't.
And it's a strong possibility, you know.
And I think that gave. I don't think they saw her because I think she was missing prior to January the 9th. And so by them saying they saw her on the 9th, they kind of maybe solidified an alibi for Jarvis or something that he may have said. But I don't think neither one of those women saw NAZIYAH Harris on January the 9th. I just don't.
And like Sama said, this Jarvis sister said she never saw NAZIYAH's face. It's hard to believe. I mean,
in the store, Shane, why did you follow her in the store? I would, if she didn't even see you, I just would have walked around in the store looking on the same aisle she was looking on just to see her face.
I mean, come on, everybody. I mean, energy on high says Mel is correct. The 8th and 9th and maybe the 10th is all mixed together. I mean, like I said, you know, it's a reason. If we go by Jarvis's sister testimony, if we go by everything that she laid out for us, it was a reason why she asked Jarvis who was the little girl. And the reason why she asked Jarvis who was that little girl was because, according to her, the girl was in and out of Jarvis's truck, correct?
That is correct. But if you listen to some of the prosecution and all of the defense questioning of her, she wasn't telling the truth about the little girl being in and out of the truck.
And stay right there, Mel. And stay right there, Mel. And here go Karen. She knew her brother was a monster. So she want to know. Any sister is going to want to know. You know your brother get down. You've been knowing your brother ever since your brother came into existence. So you want to know what this little girl doing in and out of my brother's truck. I know my brother's get down. Let me ask my brother first who the little girl is. She asks, who's the little girl, Jarvis? That's just King's niece. And she stopped right there. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
And King didn't say anything?
King didn't say anything. Later on, King said, but right there, King ain't say nothing. She stopped at Jarvis. She didn't ask Jarvis, what's she doing in and out of your truck? You know it's get down. You know he a monster. You lying. Jarvis, you better not been touching that little girl, Jarvis. Because I'm telling you, if you touch that little girl, Jarvis, I mean, come on. Or go to King. Hey, King, what is your niece doing in and out of my brother's truck? You know my brother's get down. Listen, and I got a demonstration coming up following this. Make sure everybody pull up. That's going to be 12 midnight. Following this demonstration, I'm doing a demonstration on Jarvis Butts. Is life in prison enough for Jarvis Butts? Now, she's talking to King. This is what should have took place. King, what is your niece doing in and out of my brother's truck? Is you crazy? You do know my brothers get down. You do know that, because I always say it. There are some things that we can let slide. If a person been arrested for a pow pow, all right. If a person been arrested for stealing cars, boosting jewelry, boosting clothes, all right. If a person been arrested for some drug charges, all right. If a person been arrested for the red rum, it just depends. If it's a situation where the person caught a red rum case because, you know, he went in the store and he robbed somebody and, you know, he ended up red rumming the clerk, we'll accept them even though we're going to have our eyes on them. But anybody is supposed to have their eyes on a pedo, especially if the pedo is a serial pedo, a repeated offender. If the pedo is a serial child pedo, you got your eyes on him. You better have your eyes on him. And they got a little girl in and out of the truck multiple times. I'm gonna let you come in, Mel. Let me land this plane. Appreciate the super chat, Loke. Why are y'all penalizing her when she's the only one from his family speaking against him? And that's a good question. And that's a good question. And I want everybody to know over here, we agree to disagree. And everybody's opinions is welcome. I think this is a good question. We're not penalizing her. We're just chopping it up about her testimony. That's all we're doing. So we're not penalizing her. We want to get to the bottom of what happened to NAZIYAH Harris. There were folks that failed NAZIYAH Harris, not just her family. Many people want us to stay on Jarvis, Miss Annette, and Shannon. Many people want us to stay on those three. But we all know it's bigger than Miss Annette, Jarvis, and Shannon. So we're not penalizing the sister. We're just making sure the sister is correct. All right. Here go another one. I agree with Loke Goddess. She did what most wouldn't do. But let's listen to Mel, because Mel really goes deep into the sister testimony. I wish that I could play the sister testimony on the demonstration, but YouTube is cracking down on content creators reusing other content creators' videos. So I can't play that, but I did do demonstrations with me showing it. But just listen to Mel, because Mel has an excellent breakdown of the sister. And after listening to Mel, go back and watch. Go back and watch. Go back and watch the sister's testimony. Her facial expressions throughout her testifying said a lot. That's facts. If you pay attention to her facial expressions, I've done a demonstration on her facial expressions. You know what I mean? And I'll ask the question on the replay game. And you can disagree with Shank Rock. You could disagree with my panel. You could disagree with the chat. But just please be respectful. If you disagree with what we're saying, just state your case why you disagree with us. Please be respectful. All right? That's all I ask. Now I'm going to say it again. Please listen to Mel. Pay attention to what Mel is saying about the sister. Something is not adding up. Before I bring Mel in, listen to Shank Rock. Don't listen to me as a child, but just listen to what I'm saying. A woman's intuition, and I hope I pronounced that right, but all women got that women's intuition. All women are nosy. And I got to say this for those who is their first time over here. There are a lot of first timers over here. All women are nosy, correct? Now you mean to tell me the sister stops at only asking Jarvis, her brother, that she know is a known pedo? Who's the little girl? Oh, that's just King's niece. Remember, the sister never saw NAZIYAH's face. The sister walked behind NAZIYAH to the gas station, I believe. Going in the store, she was behind her. When they got in the store, the sister said what? NAZIYAH turned left. Now, when she turned left, you're going to see her face. You might not see her face if she's moving forward because her back is turned towards you. Now, when she turned left, you ain't peeked with your nosy ass to see that face. I'm not buying it. I'm not. It's no way you could convince me that she didn't act on her intuition to find out, well, why is she in and out of your truck, Jarvis? I know you. I know you. Why is she in and out of your truck? My sisters, they know my get down. So whatever I got going on, they gonna say to me, what you know, what every brother that has sisters has it. And I'm gonna take this comment and then I'm gonna let you come in, Mel. I think that's why she was crying on the stand. She know in her heart she should have did and said more. And that's going to bring Mel in right on your comment. Come on in, Mel.
Okay. So again, first of all, she wasn't testifying against Jarvis. She really wasn't. She had a set of questions that were being asked of her by the prosecution, which, you know, she could just give her answers. You know, she was there, why she was there, how she just happened to call Jarvis on FaceTime and not on the phone time, because those calls can be tracked. But anyway, that's another story. But the reason why she started crying, if you really go back and search that video and look at when she starts crying, she starts crying when the prosecution began to ask her questions regarding what she told the detective. She got choked up there because she could not answer or solidify what she told the detective. So what she said on her own through the prosecution testimony of her, and then when they asked her a question based off what she told the detective, it didn't add up. So she became frustrated. Now, when I originally watched the video for, like, I think it was the same day they were doing the preliminary hearing, one thing that I always wondered was, why did Jarvis keep his head down the whole time she was on the stand? Now, the videos that I'm watching, I think, were actually videos that was posted by maybe the news station or whoever brought it to you live. But there was a point when she started crying, and if you guys are used to looking at court cases, whenever the witness becomes very emotional, the judge will stop and say, do you need to take a few minutes? Well, an attorney from the defense table and an attorney from the prosecution table both went outside. That was my first time seeing Jarvis's face, because he looked right up at his sister. He looked kind of like defeated. And the reason why, if you read her lips and say she was sorry because she could not solidify the answer she gave to the statement she gave to the detective. She got stuck, so she became emotional. Now let's fast forward to the defense. If you wanted to see what they call a perfect breakdown of somebody's testimony, listen to the defense ask her questions. She became emotional again because the defense said, well, you told the detectives this. And she became, her facial expressions changed. She became agitated, emotional, because she could not give the same answers to the detective. So it was the whole breakdown. And I think we had spoke about this before, but I live in the South. It doesn't matter where you live. If you are sitting in a car with the windows rolled up and there's no kind of, the car's not running, so you're not getting any kind of ventilation in that car. And especially with it raining in Detroit that day, those, as you breathe in and out, everybody know your windows will fog up. That's why the defense line of questioning of her is, did you have the windows rolled up and down? Were your doors open? She answered no to those questions because the attorney already knew if your windows would have been fogged up. There's no way you could have seen the light going on and off in Jarvis's truck if it was daylight. See, that's science. She said, well, Naziah kept going in and out the store, in and out the store, in and out the store. Well, Jarvis' truck was running, but never did she say Jarvis and King had to come out and push the truck to the pump because it ran out of gas because Naziah was sitting in the truck with the car running. She couldn't tell the defense attorney what side of the truck Naziah got out on. And so she became emotional and began to cry. Her tears had nothing to do with that. Her tears had to do with probably something that her and Jarvis had rehearsed before he even turned himself in on February the 9th. Because they already knew that Naziah Harris was missing. She was there to solely say that she saw Naziah Harris at that shop, but I don't think she saw Naziah Harris at that shop. They say she was there between 3:30 and 3:15. She didn't see Naziah Harris there because I don't think Naziah Harris was there. This Belaney, I know what King said. Oh, Naziah sit on this side of the car. She sat on that side. I don't believe any of that. Nobody saw Naziah Harris on January the 9th. To me, the person that gave the most accurate breakdown of the clothes that she wore when she left for school that morning, I'm gonna have to give that to Ms. Annette. Now we can't verify that's what she wore, but she gave an accurate description of clothes. Some powder blue jeans. It was a set, a powder blue jacket with a fur hood on the jean jacket. And then she had on a shirt up under the jean jacket. She never even stated that she had on a colorful jacket. So now we got a colorful jacket, which is one of the main, I'll just say one of the main characters in this case, this colorful jacket. Why is that colorful jacket the main thing? And if there was a little girl at that shop, it wasn't Naziah Harris. But I don't think that girl saw. I don't think his sister was there. They was there to get an alibi together.
Mm.
That's what I think. They were there to get an alibi together, but when they went in to testify, they all went in separately, so they don't know what the next person said. That's why the timelines is like a jigsaw puzzle. You trying to figure out, okay, well, this piece don't fit over here because they say they was there at that time. But I really don't think that Naziah Harris was at the shop on January 9th. I don't.
A lot was going on. Stephanie says, how we know they hadn't talked before Jarvis got locked up. They was on speaking terms enough for her to allegedly get her car looked at. Facts.
That's why she was at the shop. That's why she was at the shop to work up to say that she saw Naziah Harris at that shop, but she did not see Naziah Harris at the shop. Shane said nosy, whatever. She didn't see Naziah Harris at that shop. I just
Daily,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Talasha Moore didn't see her in this plan either, because remember she said, "Oh yeah, the girl came in." Did they introduce her? No, they kept introducing her as the niece. Who damn niece? And then she didn't know it was Naziah till the detectives came to the house in March But you already done searched the stuff on the internet. Like, come on.
Daily D says the sister had no reason to lie, though. What would she gain? The sister seemed genuinely sorry for what happened to NAZIYAH. I wish I could run that clip. I wish I could run that clip. And you know what, y'all? I can run that. It won't be on this one. Go Antoinette or one of my moderators, drop my link to my backup channel, After Dark with Shank. I'm going to have that video clip. I'm going to do this same demonstration tomorrow, everybody, but it's going to be on my backup channel. And we're going to go through Jarvis's sister's testimony. Please make sure everybody pull up on my backup channel, After Dark with Shank. Moderators, can y'all drop that link? And we going to go through it. And you could see, like, when you watch her facial expressions, you could see. You know, now, here's the...
It's just not the facial expressions. And this is just something good for anybody out there. If you're applying for a job or anything, it is your body language and your attitude. Her body language changed, her attitude changed. Even Shannon, and I'm sorry, I'm just jumping to Shannon right quick, but I'm just trying to make a point. When Shannon was reading the text messages that they had her read, do you see how her voice began to change and became angry during the reading of them? That is the same thing that happened to Jarvis's sister. Jarvis' sister, guys, I understand what you're saying. She became emotional when she got choked up, first by the prosecutor, because she could not solidify her statement she gave to the detectives. Remember, the detectives didn't reach out to her. She reached out to the detectives. So usually when you do that, you're trying to what do you call it? Offer information up front.
Facts.
But she couldn't verify the information she offered up front. And they knew it. And that's why she became emotional. She was just saying, yeah, I saw NAZIYAH. But she wasn't saying that so that they can say, okay, NAZIYAH was with Jarvis. It might have worked out that way. But she was saying that she saw NAZIYAH because I don't think she saw NAZIYAH. I just don't think she saw her.
Nia says, yeah, I have the article with Taiwan's actual timestamps. She was there an hour earlier than what she testified and said. I see somebody else. And the thing about her following NAZIYAH into the store and she turned left, it wasn't that much left in that store. Make it make sense.
Because the shop is right next to the store. So why was you walking from across the street? It doesn't make sense. I'm telling y'all, she did not see NAZIYAH Harris. She did not.
I respect everyone's opinion, but the sister has absolutely no reason to lie. The sister was totally heartbroken about what her awful monster of a brother has done. She was trying to cover herself. I appreciate you, Tone. Appreciate you, Tone. I agree with you. I reviewed that video so many times. Appreciate that super sticker, Michelle. Nia says, yes, in court we called that an alibi. She's lying about that whole part. They all were in a panic about the pregnancy. Exactly. The store is not that big. Make sure everybody subscribes to the backup channel. And I'm going to do this demonstration tomorrow. And we're going to go through the sister's whole testimony. And we're going to chop it up. She was not across the street. The store was small as hell. I agree. Good look, Tone. Yada, yada, said Jacqueline, I agree with you. That I follow her in the store. BS, baby, is an alibi. Come on. I see you, Lady V. Salute, Lady V. It is connected to the store because you could go through the store to get to the shop. It's like, and I don't know how many more times I have to keep talking about nosy women, nosy females. The Caucasian woman, I forgot her name. If you watching, drop down. But she said that people always call Caucasian women nosy. She said, but damn, she see that Caucasian women ain't the only ones that's nosy. She said, I appreciate that, Shank, because she see now that all women are nosy. All women are nosy. You can't get around it. Nosy as hell. You're not going to stop. It's like my man said, Crooklyn said, my sister know that I rob stores. My sister see me outside of a 7-Eleven posted up, mask on. I got gloves on, got my hand in my jacket. Come on. My sisters know my get down. They see me. Boy, I know what you get ready to do. Go home. You know what I mean? Leave them folks alone. Go home. The sister knew his get down. She knew his MO. It's all on his report card. You see the little girl in and out of your brother's car. You know your brother is a monster. You know his get down. He like little girls. He like inappropriately touching little girls. Now see, Alicia, now see, everything was going fine. Now here go Alicia trying to get my funky ass to pronounce this long ass word. Inquisitive. I hope I pronounced it right. Did I pronounce it right, Mel? Inquisitive? Is that what that word say? Inquisitive?
Let me see if I can see it. Hold on.
See, y'all got Candy Lad. You set me up, Alicia. I'm going to get your ass back, Alicia. You set me up. But let me continue. Let me continue.
Oh, that's Shank. That's inquisitive.
Inquisitive. All right. I tried. I was close. Let me grab this comment from Lady V. Appreciate this, Lady V. Lady V says, Mel, is it possible NAZIYAH had her coat hood on with the fur around it, and that is why Tawana didn't see her face?
To answer that question, I'm going to say no. Tawana didn't see her face because Tawana didn't see her. I'm going to stand on that. But to make it clear, this is not taking Jarvis off the hook that he didn't do anything. I'm just saying that I believe, because I even believe, and I want to say, but I don't, because I don't remember a lot from back then, you know, taking a minute to go back. I can swear I can remember maybe a month or so ago that Miss Parker mentioned something about the 8th. The only thing that I'm saying is that a lot of stuff went on the 9th, but what happened to Monday? That was the first return date back to school. But all this stuff happened on the Tuesday. The Jaguar gets fixed on the Tuesday. They make the trip to Ypsilanti. You know, it's like all of this stuff went on the Tuesday was just full of events. I just don't think they, Tijuana or whatever her name, Tijuana, or Talasha Moore saw NAZIYAH Harris on January 9th. I just don't think they did. I think they provided that for King and Jarvis, which I don't know what good it would help unless it comes out later. But I just don't think neither one of them saw NAZIYAH. Or if they did, it wasn't on January 9th.
A lot went on January the 9th. It did. And the time we got to keep in mind, all right, she got out of school 3-ish. I believe the bus dropped her off at 3-ish.
Yes.
So all this took place from 3-ish. We know, according to King, they got back to the shop 8:45 or 8:30. According to the hotel, Jarvis and NAZIYAH arrived at the hotel at 9 p.m. So all of this took place between a little after 3-ish and 9 p.m. All this took place now. Mel, what you working on a car? Hey, Mel, what you working on a car?
I can't. No, I'm not. I was drinking some out of can. I was drinking a Monster out of a can, but I have a straw. But
That don't sound like you drinking out of a can. I got to get you, Mel. You in your background noise.
Oh, you know what? I have a porch, and you may hear crickets and stuff.
Nah, I don't hear crickets tonight. Your ass then went from the Dorito potato chip bags. Mama, when we was covering the Shanquilla Robinson case, you went from potato chip bags to crickets to the fan running to the air condition running, TV, radio. God damn it, Mel.
No, but I am.
Stephanie.
I am sitting on my porch because you probably hear a lot of crickets because I do live.
Nah, I don't hear crickets tonight.
Okay, but you don't hear. Wait, Shay, you gonna make me lose my chain of thought. God, dog, did I
go
just
ahead,
lose my chain of thought?
Go ahead.
And this is another thing. If I ain't mistaken, did King say he had a 300? He had a car, right?
Yep.
Why was NAZIYAH sitting in Jarvis' car instead of his? If that was
cooking tonight, stay right there. You cooking tonight. Gigi says, Shank, I'm the queen of nosy on my block. At least Gigi is honest. Shout out to Gigi for admitting to being the queen of nosy. But listen to what Mel said. Don't King got a car himself? Don't King got a 300? Why wasn't King's niece, NAZIYAH, why she wasn't in King's car? You ain't bothered to act. I'm gonna let you come in now. Jarvis' sister now. You ain't bothered to ask Jarvis' sister. Well, why she in your truck and not in King's car? Come on, Mel.
That's basically what I was gonna say. Which would have gave her every other reason to be nosy. Why is she sitting in your car? And especially if she know his get down. I'm telling y'all. She did that girl did not see NAZIYAH Harris at that shop.
Come on now. Alicia says, I'm the queen of questioning. I mean, let me grab a few comments. Make sure y'all hit the like button. No tacos. All right. I want everybody to thank TT for the picture. So I want everybody to give a big thank you to TT for dropping them tacos. All right. Let me grab a few comments. Smith Fan says exactly. JJ says, Shank, both King and Jarvis are felons. Isn't that a violation for them to be around one another? I'm not sure about the state of Michigan, JJ, but that's a good point, JJ. That's a good point. What Annette said NAZIYAH had on going to school, what Shannon said she had on was when her NAZIYAH and Jarvis was together late on January the 9th, whatever they did to her. Simon says facts. Hey, it's good to be a little nosy. Being nosy has saved lives. That's facts. I'm thinking the 7th. And she seemed like that sister that would ask that. That's facts, Crooklyn. Come on, everybody.
Even if she was a little girl and it was dark and you saw a little girl wandering in the store by herself, you would at least, try to safely strike up a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you looking around. Let me go next time when I walk out the door, let's see if her mom out here or somebody in the car waiting for her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't see a little child, a little tiny child, just wandering around in the store by themselves. If you don't see no parent outside, that's crazy.
And the sister looks like she's that. The sister look like she can get lit. The sister look like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? Lady B says if they paying NAZIYAH, Tawana, Jarvis, and King phone, they would know if they were there at the same time of my pen. And that's exactly. You got, like I say, y'all, I deal with all kind of women over here on my platform, right? And there's all kind of women. I deal with them all. But you can look at Jarvis's sister and you could tell the way how she was handling the defense when they was irritating her. Dollar bill. I see your dollar bill. Sign me up, old man. I'm always available for the most part. Dollar Bill, Detroit, been rocking with the Rock Squad for probably 3 years now. Shout out to you, Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill, what the hell is going on with those funky ass folks up there in Detroit? But back to what I was saying, Jarvis's sister looked like that type of woman. Oh, hell to the no. Ninja, I'm going to let you slide in, Mel. Ninja, this is her talking to the brother. Ninja, what the hell is King's niece doing in and out of your car? Ninja, I know your funky ass. Ninja, you better not be touching that girl. I mean, somebody got to make it make sense. And I need everybody to thank Kimberly once again for the collage. Appreciate your super chat. Kimberly says, Shank, yo funky ass and Mel are cooking tonight. Appreciate you, Kimberly, but I still have to put you on punishment. I have to put the chat on punishment. Ms. Bull says, that's my personality. Exactly. Some of y'all in the chat. Look like that.
But Shane, make this make sense. This how you can tell she knows it. She asked Jarvis who was the girl getting in and out. She asked King who was the girl getting in and out of Jarvis' truck. Well,
Bingo.
where was Jarvis? But where was Jarvis? Because they was both in there working on the Jaguar, supposedly.
Bingo.
I'm telling you, that girl did not see NAZIYAH Harris at that shop when she at the time she was there. She didn't see NAZIYAH.
Bingo. I'm not sure if Jarvis' sister in the chat. She probably is, but she be trolling me. She used to pull up and she be stalking me on Facebook. She used to be in the chat. Now, I ain't sure if she's down there in the chat, but she used to have the most to say about Shank Rock. Had me up here laughing. You know what I mean? But come on. You asked Jarvis, why did you go and ask King? You nosy.
In the shop, remember, they working on the Jaguar. But she said she asked Jarvis, was he going to be able to look at her car? But you asked King, who was the little girl getting out of his truck? Make it make sense. I'm just saying. You really have to listen to her testimony, and that's why she started crying, because she was getting choked up off the lies she was telling. And when Jarvis looked up at her when the attorneys went outside, he knew that he was fired.
That's why he went from this Jarvis now. He went from this. Appreciate you becoming a member, Shantae. Appreciate the super sticker intentionally for me. I mean, you really got to make it make sense. And once again, TT says she better bring he funky ass out the damn bushes. Once again, everybody, you all have TT to thank for the collage of Jarvis's stable. Capricorn says, Shank, take these monsters from under the bed off the screen. Well, you got to thank TT. Got to thank TT. I see you, Corey. Come on, Mel.
Yeah, that's just pretty much it in a nutshell. Whoever did the collage forgot somebody.
Who belong up there?
Malaysia Moore.
And
I digress on that one. Pay attention to her testimony. She been in that shop too.
Yep.
But any work that King did on her car, she said he might have changed the oil in the car a couple of years ago, but he did it at the house. So, but she was going to that shop. Why?
Yeah.
She had lunch with Jarvis the first time he came up there. And if you look at her, I mean, she may be a little cuter than them other ones, but they're all the same skin complexion. Look at the pattern. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, once again, shortly after I end this demonstration, make sure y'all pull right back up, because my double hitter for the night, the next demonstration is life in prison enough for Jarvis? We're going to dig into Jarvis because, my opinion, I do believe that he should definitely, and I don't know Michigan as far as the death penalty, but if it comes out that he's really responsible for NAZIYAH's death, I believe he should get the death penalty. Once again, I don't know Michigan's law on the death penalty, but I don't think that Jarvis should ever get out of prison, because, in my opinion, if he gets out, he'll do it again. Law Talk with Tone says, no, Michigan doesn't have the death penalty. Appreciate you for that, Tone. I see you, Mercedes. Let me grab a few comments, and then I'm going to come back to you, Mel. Salute, Mercedes. TT says, Stephanie on guard. I said the same thing. Corey says, yes, them lashes look like something off the Muppets. Ms. Bull says, we don't have death penalty here in Michigan. Michigan doesn't have the death penalty. No death penalty in Michigan. Michigan do not carry the death penalty. He will never stop. We have the death penalty in Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, I wouldn't take no chances, you know, and people can change. That is true. People can change. But in this situation, I wouldn't recommend Jarvis to ever see the daylight again. I still had the Village Vibes on block, Joe Clark, because it's a lot of pedos in my neighborhood and it's close to the schools around here. Lady V says, Jarvis is a serial offender. I don't think they will let him out, in my opinion. I'm with you, Lady V. Ohio does have the death penalty. Not the last year. Salute, Fran. Wow, Michigan folks are lucky with that. Definitely got it where I'm from. Salute, India. Apologies, I'm late. Hello, everyone. Not pedos if it's inherited trait. Just like the nurse didn't come to the class on the 9th, nobody's seen her on the 9th. Isn't that something, y'all? No, Jarvis is not going to change. He desires children. Isn't that something? It almost make you wonder, was it a hit? Was it a hit put on NAZIYAH? Because it was like so many people were in place. So many people were in cohese together. All of them failed NAZIYAH. I mean, all of them. Notice. The only one that was close to having NAZIYAH's back was the monster himself. Out of everybody surrounding her, the only one that was close to having NAZIYAH's back was the monster. He was close. He didn't have her back. Lady Leo says, Shank, a question. Out all crimes, do you believe a pedo can conform? I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's why I stress that if the 13-year-old Jarvis would have got help, we might not had the adult Jarvis that was a monster, because they say once you catch your first body, once you commit your first red rum, you get turned out, and along with other crimes. And I can honestly say, for me, even though I don't break law no more, but my get down when I was breaking the law is still here.
But you changed, right?
Now my get that, yeah, I changed.
So I want to say this, that it'll probably take this statement into your next demonstration. We have to remember that pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder. Psychiatric, right? So I'm not excusing anything. But what I won't do is say that he can never change. So you can't change unless you get help. So there are a lot of psychiatric disorders that people have, because you have to think of, well, we think of pedophilia. That's a psychiatric disorder. You know, you can Google it. It breaks it down. But guess what? Guess what else? You got, you have, I forgot what they call them, petty thieves. Now, I used to work in retail a lot, and it would be amazing to see older women, seniors, majority white women, that would be in the store just shopping and kicking up. They, you think they in there and they stealing.
Mm-hmm.
But these are psychiatric disorders that stem from another addiction they had previously. It could, so like, say you have an alcoholic, right? So the alcoholic has somewhere to go for that, through psychiatric counseling and consistent AA meetings. Well, a lot of times, some addictions you may be able to get, the proper help with, to deal with that addiction, but sometimes those addictions turn into other addictions, right? Such as theft, stealing, even like if you say, a man that's an abuser. Well, of course, he came from a household like that, right? But can he be cured? Can he be helped with that? He can. So we can't say, well, that's like they tried to do P. Diddy, put him in the jail for the rest of his life because he beat Cassie up in the hotel. So we're going to put him in federal prison for the rest of his life for domestic violence. But that domestic violence stemmed from something else. You feel me? We already know where Jarvis' pedophilia comes from. It stemmed from him being, abused by a pedophile, right? Unfortunately, he wasn't afforded the proper help he needed to help him overcome that, and to realize that, so that it didn't turn to where he is now. But okay, yeah, we'll give him life in prison. But is he getting help? And I say this to say this, and I know that our current president feels like that. And he feels like once a prisoner gets a certain age, they should be able to be released and spend the rest of their life around family with dignity. So when they pass away, their family can give them a proper home going. as opposed to them to just rot away behind a jail cell. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so would we say, okay, we're giving life in prison, but well, you know what? When you get about 88, if he's still living in prison, we'll let him out. But did he ever get help while he was spending those that times in prison? If not, then could we look for him to do that at 88? Well, I don't really know because I don't know how a man's situation happens at 88. But can't would that be a thing with him or any other person that's doing that? You feel me? So, not saying that I agree or don't agree with him spending the rest of his life in prison, but where does the healing come from? To where does his healing come from? Do we just throw him in a way because regardless he's done some horrible things, and I'm not taking away from that, but everybody deserves to be healed or be given the proper tools for healing, just like an alcoholic, just like a drug addict, just like a petty thief, right?
I
Just like
disagree,
a
Mel. I,
a domestic abuser. I, I I understand what you're saying, but still, you got to take that one man. Do you know how many pedophiles there are in the world that are out? You know, they have some of them living in the same communities all together, but they're all going through almost like going to AA every night to meetings. But because we're so close to this one particular case, which we don't know everything, yes, he has other victims, but again, to whence did his help come from? Nowhere. So, okay, I agree with him doing prison time, even if they put him in there for the rest of his life. Does he still not deserve the proper healing?
I don't think so. And let me land my plane. Sorry that you had to experience that, A Young. A Young says, I was SA as a teen. I didn't turn into a monster. I didn't get help. Once again, I'm sorry, A Young, that you had to experience it. Now, Jarvis's crime is a crime against morality. I hope I pronounced that right. Pronounce that word for me, Mel.
No, you said it right, morality.
Okay, okay.
It's a moral thing.
Right, right. So his crime is deeper than an alcoholic. His crime is deeper than, let's say, if he went into the store and stole something. Let's say, you know, if he got caught with a pow, you know, that's different. I don't feel like those that commit red rum, that's not justified. I don't think that they should ever get out of prison if it wasn't justified. I don't think that any crimes sexually committed against women and children and against men that was done by force, I don't think that they should be able to get out of prison. I do believe that they should receive some kind of help. I do believe that they should have an opportunity to be rehabilitated.
That's
I
what I'm
just
saying.
let me land my plane, Mel. I don't believe in allowing them back into the community. I'm old school. I'm old school. I'm so old school. I'm Old Testament old school. I do believe in an eye for an eye. That's just my belief. I don't believe in all of that turning the other cheek. Because if I turn this cheek, you're going to come on the side and hit me in this cheek. That's not shank rock. I believe in tougher laws. I believe that that's why our society, I believe that that's why America is in the hellified condition that it's been in and it's continued to be in, because everything that has to do with morality, all the more America says you can do it. If you travel the world, other countries don't have the problems that we have. In other countries, Jarvis would have been up out of here his first time around. It wouldn't have been no more Jarvis. So,
no, I agree. I agree, and what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that, you know, he should go, you know, because some people have 3 strikes for other little crimes, and they 3 strikes stay in prison for life, right? What I'm saying is that you can't just throw him in prison. He deserves help while he's in prison.
Right. Get him the help while he's in prison. Fine. I'm even on the fence with that, but I can accept that I get him help on in prison. Fine, but he gonna stay in prison. Come on, Mel.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, our current leader of the free world does not believe that a person, even if there's sentence, you know, all that stuff, the sentencing they're doing, like life plus 33 years and all that, like, and the story came up about a black man from Louisiana that was accused of something when he was 17 years old, and he's damn near 90, and he's still in prison. But the crime that he committed really does not equate to the time that he was given. Life plus 33 years. So he was sentenced to remain in prison for the rest of his life. And so he was actually, I think this man may have been from CNN, so it was actually a news story. And they said, are you a threat to anybody? He said no. And so, but I do know that our current leader of the free world does not agree with people dying in prison. I guess it's a lack of a word. But for this man, he said, they asked him, did he have any family? And he says he has no family. He probably do got some cousins, or he may have some kind of family member out there, but he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't have any family.
And on that note, Mel, any last words? We're gonna pick up right where we left off at. We're gonna pick up on the next demonstration in less than 25 minutes. Any last words before we get out of here, Mel?
My last words in this demonstration is, the only thing that I can tell anybody is just to go back and just look at her testimony, and just really look and take it in, and you'll begin to see what's really going on with Tijuana, whatever, what's her name, Tijuana?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And then, you know, as far as Jarvis in life, I guess we'll take that up on the next demonstration.
All right. I'll see you in less than 25 minutes, Mel.
All right.
All right. Appreciate your super chat, Mina. Mina says, I think that money should go into studying and stopping what is in the brain that activates X, you know what, feelings and dominance for children and aping children. How many of y'all agree? Drop a 5 if y'all agree. Drop a 6 if y'all disagree. I'll see everybody back in less than 25 minutes. Remember, if you are interested in purchasing a Switching Lanes on Yo Funky Ass t-shirt, DM me on Instagram. We have different colors. We have the black letters with the red shirt. We also have the black with gold letters. We have pink with black letters. We have black with pink letters. More colors will be available. All proceeds will go to help me fund my next movie, Switching Lanes on Yo Funky Ass. I'll leave the chat running, and I'll see everybody back in less than 25 minutes. Salute everybody. I'll leave the chat running for a few, and you all can hang around. See everybody back in less than 20 minutes.
I'd like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out.
Tinted window screaming after law out my mouth. I'm switching lanes from up north to down south. Now everybody trying to figure how I put it down. I took my show on the road straight out of town. Pee-wee is my nigga, so you know I brought some crooks with me.
1998, they tried to throw the book at me.
Tell me what you see every time you take a look at me. A straight P, I only be where the hookers be. A old head, but still can pull any fly chick. One thing's for sure, you never see me ride a nigga dick. I got a thoroughbred who loves to call me pretty daddy. Through Alabama, getting hit in a pink caddy when I come through. Everybody knows me, the young niggas love me. They call me they OG. Go and do your homework about the shit that I spit. They gon' tell you that that nigga Shank is legit. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. I eat a chicken box before I play a game of spades.
And I get some
half and half is sweet tea mixed with lemonade. Some brown liquor with a coke to sharpen up my skills. I switch lanes cause I only fuck with the real. Now she's a winner, so I got to keep her on my team. Plus I'm a real one, so I'll never ever sell her dreams. You wanna know if I'll quit or if I'll stop? But they say it ain't over till your casket drops. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane.